Our first day of third term. Classes had come to an end.
Yoshiyuki.
Oh, just a sec and I'll pack up my stuff. I was thinking of heading somewhere with Anzu on our way home, so I hurried up.
Anzu, Yoshiyuki!
Wataru suddenly tackled me. He was like a kid. What do you want?
なんだよ。何か用かはないだろ?
What else could I say?
それもそうだ。さあ、これからどっか寄っていかね?
Sorry, I'll pass today.
なんだよ。お前スキー旅行から帰ってきたから付き合い悪いぞ。
He doesn't believe in bros before hoes or any of that, you know. He's just like, no. Girl comes first, friends come second. There is no actual balance in this at all.
前は、渡様、ぜひ一緒に帰りましょうとか言ってたくせに。
As far as I can remember, I've never begged you like that.
そうね、一切ないわ。
そうだっけ? まあいいじゃねえか。久々に買い食いでもしてこうぜ。
Sorry, I have an appointment with Anzu today. I finished packing up and stood up. Thanks for waiting, Anzu.
なんだよ。お前ら最近よくするんで、付き合ってるわけでもないのによ。
Oh?
いった!
あら、失礼。
何するんだよ、茜。
いや、ちょっとね、察しの悪い野暮天さんを見つけたもんだから、思わず叩いちゃった。
Then why didn't you hit Yoshiyuki?
誰が野暮天だ?
渡るくんも気づきなさいよね。
何よ?
二人はね、付き合ってるの。
Well, they did flash through maybe like a week or so there must have been some development over time.
Pardon?
My English.
二人はね、もう付き合っちゃってるんだって。
マジでか?
知ってるもんだとばっかり思ってたよ。
Yoshiyuki!
They kind of skipped through it a bit. It's just like, okay, skip to like a week later into the relationship. Wataru drew close to me. It was annoying, honestly. Why? Well, you know. I glanced at Anzu. She nodded.
なんだ, その分かり合っちゃってるかも。
スキー旅行の時からだって。
スキー旅行? もう10日くらい前じゃねえか。
So it's pretty much what he wanted, but what he didn't get. Love to blossom at the ski trip.
そうね。今じゃすっかりYoshiyukiのテクニックにメロメロよ。
Anzu blushed.
そうなのか? なんだ、この内側からふつふつと込み上げてくる敗北感は。
That was a lie. We're in a very clean relationship.
どこまでを清いというかはご想像にお任せするわ。大人だ。
Yeah. I thought that Anzu had turned the target of her sexual harassment from Cobra to me after we decided to go out. I wonder why.
ああ、あかりは知ってたのか。なんで俺には教えてくれなかったんだ。
教えてもらわなくても普通気づくよ。
ショックだ。昨日漫画を読みながらヒロインの気持ちに気づかない主人公を嘲笑ってた俺はなかったんだ。
Were you watching the anime adaptation of this? Because that sounds like Yoshiyuki's character in a nutshell. Wataru held his head, murmured, and wobbled.
ああ、Yoshiyuki! 俺はそんなに鈍いか?
I don't know about that, but you're certainly annoying at the moment.
なんだと?
Well, I think we've explained ourselves enough, so see you later. Let's go, Anzu.
待って、私も帰る。このままで一緒に行こう。聞いてくれよ、来てしまう。聞いてるって。いつから？それぐらい告白する前。知らなかったのは俺だけか。
Well, hearing Wataru's cry from the classroom, we headed to the entranceway. Well, Yoshiyuki is the other way around when it came to Koko's feelings. Yoshiyuki is completely just flat out dense. Just unbelievably dense when it comes to that. It boggles the mind how dense he can be.
じゃ、私はここで。帰るの？お二人のお邪魔はできませんから。
We're just going to a cafe. Why don't you join us? Since Anzu's house is located in the other direction from my house, I thought we'd drop by some place for tea.
いえいえ、めっそうもござりません。
Akane waved her hand in an exaggerated way. I didn't like it because she seemed like she was acting. You don't have to feign disinterest.
っていうか、本当に用事があるの。私が気なんて使うわけないじゃない。そうね。あ、そろそろバス来ちゃうから。じゃあ、また明日。あ、そうだ。Yoshiyukiくん。
Akane beckoned to me. What is it?
ちょっと来て。
Akane dragged me away from Anzu so that she couldn't hear.
ちょっと聞いてもいい？
Isn't your bus coming?
ちょっとだから。
What is it?
ねえ、Yoshiyukiくん。もう、アンズちゃん家には行った？
Eh? It's been only a week and a bit since I started going out with Anzu. Anzu had come to my house a couple of times, but I'd never been to hers. No, I haven't.
そっか。Yoshiyukiくんでもまだなのか。
Oh? Akane looked disappointed. What about it?
私たちも行ったことないだよね。アンズちゃん家。
Really?
うん。ココちゃんも行ったことないって言ってたかな。
That's quite something. It was a bit of a surprise. Among the Setsugeka, Anzu and Akane had been friends before they entered Kasami Academy. Now that Akane no Koko had been to Anzu's house.
もし、行ったら教えてね。何の話をしてるの？なんでもない。じゃあバス来ちゃうね。待ってね。
Akane rushed away.
何？
Oh, it's nothing serious. Anzu nodded. She seemed to have quickly lost
行
interest.
きましょう。
Yeah. By the way, I remembered that I had a strange dream this morning. I decided to ask her about it.
うん？
Have you had any strange dreams lately?
夢？
Anzu giggled. What's so funny?
だって、Yoshiyukiの口から夢なんて言葉が出るなんて珍しいから。
I certainly had an odd dream. I was like in some kind of Victorian kind of mansion, except it wasn't like just Victorian kind of people. They had all kinds of people, like people that you'd expect from like horror movies from the 1930s or some shit. You just like have like some odd characters around. I think there was also some characters from, I can't even remember, it was just really clustered and weird. Oh yeah, Final Fantasy characters. Just like, what the fuck is going on? And then I woke up. So is that a weird enough dream for you? Is it?
ええ。
Maybe that was true. It was true that I'd been avoiding talking about dreams because I had the ability to see other people's dreams. Well, anyway, going back to the original question, have you had any strange dreams recently?
夢って大概変でしょ？
Well, that's true, but have you?
覚えてない。
Anzu shook her head. It felt odd to hear that she didn't remember considering the Yokomura memorization method. Well, perhaps it doesn't work on dreams, because dreams are kind of like, when you're in the dream, it's all just like, what the hell, man, this is so just trippy as balls and weird and bizarre. Yet at the same time, it can feel completely natural within the dream, but when you wake up, you're just like, the fuck was that?
どうか たの？変な顔して。
I just thought it was unlikely that you don't remember a dream despite your memorization ability.
夢って記憶を整理するために見るんでしょ？
If that's the case, then, well, actually, technically in the day I do remember, like, yes, and maybe, but it still doesn't make a lot of sense to me at all. I've heard that too. I wasn't sure if that was true or not. It just feels like your mind just kind of gathers various random things, just like, okay, we'll shove this in there, and 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 that will be dream number 1, and then we'll go on to dream number 2, you should bang that, and that, and that, and that, and that, and you will be bizarre, and just weird, bizarre, and here we'll throw in some vivid ones, yeah, yes, yes, yes. We'll throw in some random ones, you know, yes, 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 just clustered.
だったらその夢をわざわざ覚えてもしょうがないじゃない。だから夢は思い出さないようにしているの。
I'm not sure if I understood that or not.
いいじゃない。別に夢の話なんて。
Anzu ended the conversation. Then she stared at me. Why?
なんでもない。
But she didn't look away. Don't stare at me.
うぶなこと言って似合ってない。
I am shy. I looked away. Anzu giggled. I started to understand that times like these were very important.
じゃ、また明日。
Yeah, take care.
それじゃ。
Anzu started walking to the bus stop. Oh, Anzu. I stopped her because what Akane had told me had been bothering me. Anzu had never invited even her best friends to her home. I understood some people didn't like inviting others to their homes, but this case caught my attention.
何？
Anzu stopped and turned around. Can I go home with you? The phrase came to mind, but, it's nothing. See you later. Tomorrow, yeah.
またね。
It'd be funny if it just came out as gibberish. What? Nothing. See you tomorrow. I waved at home, I was about to say. What? Man, I still haven't fully woken up, have I? Well, woken up. See, I can't even speak properly. But, whatever, I waved at her, then she smiled and started walking again. I think it's too rushed. I murmured inside. Well, the new term had just begun. Maybe I should ask if it'd be okay to see her house. I made up my mind and headed home. Now I've just noticed this here. Isn't that Anzu? I never really noticed that they have like kind of design going on here.
さあ、帰りましょう。
Anzu talked to me right after homeroom. I felt glad because despite her stoic looks, she actively tried to hang out with me. Sure. I hear people say you've changed.
変わった？私が？
Yep.
評判って誰に？
Classmates.
あ、そう。
She sounded indifferent and nodded.
別に私は変わったつもりはないわ。
Yeah?
ええ。前から義行のことは好きだし。
Does everyone fancy the dense protagonist every time? Just like your denseness, it caught my eye. I could not believe that such a person could be so dense. I fell in love instantly. I felt bashful when she told me that right to my face. Now you can say that kind of thing, isn't it a sign that you've changed?
前の私でも言うことはできたけどな。
But you would have said in a sarcastic, joking kind of way, probably. But you didn't, right?
それもそうね。内面が変わらなくても関係性が変化すれば見た目の行動は違って見えるってことか。
She seemed satisfied and nodded. It was really like her.
今日はどこに寄ってく？
Anzu stopped when we passed the school gate. Well, let's see. Recalling what Takane told me yesterday, I decided to take the plunge. Hey, Anzu.
何？
How about we go to your place?
うち？
Yeah, I've never been to your house, you know. Would it be bad?
うちは
She looked troubled. Would I bother your family?
迷惑ってわけじゃないけど。
She obviously looked like she didn't want to invite me to her house. Then I decided to wait for another chance. I thought I should wait for another chance to go to her house. There'll be a next time. Oh, never mind, let's go somewhere else.
ごめんなさい。そうしてもらえると助か
Don't
る。
rush these things. Anzu looked apologetic. Stop looking like that, I just wanted to say it.
そう、
So, where do you want to go?
そうね。
The shopping district, Sakura Park, or do you want to drop by a cafe for a snack?
じゃあ、代わりに吉行の家へ行きたい。
Eh?
吉行の家。
No, not at all. Okay, let's go to my house.
で、私に押し倒されないように注意してね。
Oh, that is just... That is such an Anzu thing to say, and it just feels weird and weird that it's such an Anzu thing to say. What the fuck? Anzu smirked. Alright. We just kind of accept that this is kind of the norm. That you've got this character, Anzu, who's just like mischievous and like things she says just like would make you just like go, the fuck she just say? Anzu and I walked down the street as the cherry blossoms fell around us. What is it?
別に、ちょっと楽しいなと思っただけ。
Fun?
私たちバス通学でしょ。こうやって帰ることあまりないから。
That's right. Hmm?
で、繋がない？
Huh? I looked around. I saw a few Kasame Academy students on their way home. Everybody's watching.
他人は他人でしょ。
She sounded defiant. Well, maybe there's no reason.
ぐずぐず言わない。
She took my left hand. I feel embarrassed.
以下同文。
You feel embarrassed too?
照れるからやらないなんてわけにはいかないの。こういうのは。
Are you an expeditionist or something?
そこが萌えポイント。思う存分燃えて。
Alright. I clenched Anzu's cold fingers in my hand. The door was unlocked. I'm home.
よしゆきくん、おかえり。
Hello there, Harimo. What the hell are you doing on her head? Oh, Harimo's home too?
そりゃ、ハリマオだってたまにはうちに来るよ。ね
You know, if it was any ordinary dog, a dog, you know, resting on someone's head would be quite a sight.
え、お邪魔します。
Can you imagine, say,
いらっしゃい。吉野家は君を大歓迎するよ。
like a Labrador trying to rest on someone's head? You'd be like, no, that's impossible. Sakura-san approached Anzu and took her hand to shake hands in an exaggerated manner.
どうも、園長先生。園長先生だなんて他人行儀な。僕のことはお母さんって呼んでくれてもいいんだよ。
Why a mother-in-law? Anzu wouldn't want to call Sakura-san her mother because Sakura-san looked younger than her. First of all, Sakura-san isn't my mother.
ほら、僕は吉行くんの母親みたいなものじゃない？だから、嫁っ子にもお母さんって呼ばれたいな
She's not my wife.
いいじゃんいいじゃん。さあ洗って。
He didn't say arigato there, he's just... It's just gobsmacked. Anzu seemed overwhelmed by Sakura-san. Understandably so after that introduction. I thought I was going to take Anzu to my room, but Sakura-san pushed us to the living room.
さあ好きなとこに座って。失礼します。
By the way, Sakura-san, you're home early today? Anzu and I didn't stop by any place after school, so it was surprising to find Sakura-san home, especially since she's almost always seems to be out.
今日はちょっと調べ物があったから学園はお休みしたの。
Some research? Come to think of it, she said the same thing yesterday too.
それもお仕事なの。大変ですね。そうそう大変なの。さあ座って座って。
Sakura-san forced Anzu to take a seat. Anzu couldn't do anything.
待っててね。今すぐお茶入れてくるから、よしゆきくんが。
Me? It's one of those things you don't plan on doing, but then you're suddenly forced into that role. While I was preparing the tea in the kitchen, I could hear voices from the living room.
ねえねえ、アンジュちゃんは何か得意なこととかってある？得意なこと？特技ですか？うん、どんなことでもいいから教えて。別にこれといって何かあるでしょ？例えばさ、ちょっと人には言えないような特技とかさ、ね？
Hey, are you interrogating her? I put the cups on a tray and went back to the living room.
別に、ちょっとアンズちゃんに特別取材を。
Just like, let's see if you're actually good enough to date Yoshiyuki. I guess you were asking her some naughty questions.
別にいやらしい質問なんてしてないよ。僕はただアンズちゃんの特技を聞いただけで。まあ。
She's extremely good at memorization, but other than that, she's quite normal. Define normal, exactly. Wasn't like she could use magic like Junichi-san and I. Well, I couldn't mention magic here, so I glared at Sakura-san to warn her a little bit.
記憶？アンズちゃんって記憶力いいんだ。そういえば、成績もトップクラスだもんね。
It's called the Yakumura memorization method. Why don't you ask Anzu for a lesson since you seem really forgetful?
遠慮。っていうか、僕は忘れっぽくなんてないもん。
She's more childish than forgetful.
さて、僕は部屋に戻ろうかな。
Really? I made tea for you too.
ごめん、調べ物途中だったから。じゃあ、お湯飲みだけ持ってくね。
I put the cups for Anzu and myself on the table, then handed the tray to Sakura-san.
じゃあ、アンズちゃん、ごゆっくり。困ったことがあったらいつでも僕に言ってね。はい。チャオ、行こう、ハリノ。
Sakura-san eyed Anzu and left with Harimo. Phew, well, that's Sakura-san.
楽しい人ね、園長先生。
The thing is, she's too fun. I have a tough time with it every day. I shrugged. Anzu smiled. Why are you smiling?
家族だなって思って。
If you met my family, you'd be like, well, quite an interesting atmosphere here, isn't it? Just like my dad when he shouts, my mother and her kind of sarcastic and random attitude, and just like my brother just like kind of just like Well, my brother seems like fairly normal compared to my parents, really. It feels like kind of like it's mostly my mother and father that seem to really stand out in the family as the odd pair. It's like I remember drawing them as Pokemon. My mother was a Snorlax, punching my father in the face, who was an X-Cloud. She doesn't actually punch me in the face or anything like that, but just kind of representing it. Just like the sarcastic, sleepy one and the loudmouth. So it had to be an X-Cloud. Yeah, I've been with Sakura-san and the Asakura family since childhood, so they really are like my family. My family's a bit like a Monty Python sketch. Like, legitimately, a pretty much live Monty Python sketch. Anzu mumbled. I didn't mean to exclude you or anything. You and family is family. They aren't my real family anyway. We don't really know much about Yoshiyuki, really, despite, how long this LP has been going on for. We don't really know a whole lot about his backstory. And Anzu smiled again. Her smile made me feel affectionate towards her. But I'm glad that Sakura-san seemed to like it. But when she said mother-in-law, it reminded me of somebody else. I forgot that I had two younger mother-in-laws too. Here they come! Well, you're slow on that there, Yume. You only just figured that out? I heard loud steps. Then... How did it take you like a week to hear about that? Yume stormed into the living room. It appeared that she was more dim-witted than Wataru. Yume, I have a guest. Yume saw Anzu, then blushed. It just feels weird for him to say that about another character. It's like dim-witted. It's like, you're on the talk there, Yoshiyuki. You probably still don't even realize that Coco even has feelings for you. What if she saw how she usually is, tracksuit, just like glaring face, just like I don't give a shit kind of attitude, just like no, this I don't usually act like this. No, I'll be going now. She looked agitated. Watanabe showed up a moment later. Man, this must be pretty awkward for her. Well, Wataru didn't know until yesterday either. Yume collapsed and put her hands on the floor to express her devastation. Suddenly Anzu stood up. Whoops. Anzu tried to leave. Oh hey, wait. I hurried and followed her. Wait, Anzu, I'll walk you home. Just let me... Anzu shook her head. Could she be jealous? I thought so for a moment, but she didn't seem that way. Sorry that my house is crowded. No. I see, but I think of you as my first priority. They aren't my real family, though.
家族に本当の嘘もないよ。
Okay, you're right. I couldn't understand what Anzu meant, so I just nodded back. Anyway, I'll walk you home.
ごめん、家までは。
That was right. I restated what I said. I'll walk you to the bus stop. Anzu nodded, so I held her hand. Let's go. Anzu and I went to the bus stop, basking in the setting sun.